Hi, it's Beezy. It is day 21 and it's April 3rd, 2022. And isn't there something about, 21 days or 28 days or something that takes you to pull in and align and ingrain a new habit, a new routine, a new flow to things? I don't know why that just came to thought when I thought of 21 days. Um, and today's been an interesting day. I say it like that because a lot of the day involved the job, and so that was kind of the usual flow of the job, which is interesting. Um, and but some lovely kind of actually over the last day, well, starting yesterday evening and through today, lovely little um, out of the blue happenstances, out of the blue. Not, I mean, I guess you can describe them as synchronicities, but these particular things I'm talking about are more of lovely little lining ups, lovely little gifts. So small little bits of heart's desire that I've been feeling and holding and playing with and lighting a fire from, my liquid light from within, and little bits of them, little portions of them, little dots that are connecting and flowing are starting to come in, and that's lovely. And again, like I was talking about yesterday, it's that appreciation, that noticing and connecting, and perhaps not necessarily needing to do anything in that moment with something, but in noticing, in coming into connection, coming into being present to one another, being subject to one another, the noticing that happened, the out of the blue um, reflection, or an actual tangible piece of a heart's desire coming through, um, is for me, in a very intentional and very expansive way, um, a Yahoo moment, a jumping off point, a noticing and an appreciation and an expansion moment, um, because there is no ego mind, there is no kind of mind loop coming in and saying, well, yeah, that's great, but that's not X, that's not the whole, um, big heart's desire section you had, or whatever it is. And so none of that is there. And none of that is there at all. It's a noticing of what's gone. So I'll give you an example of one of them. So towards the end, I told you last week I had done a whole bunch of research, and people had been sending me some things about truck camper tops. Just, the bed of the truck has just a top hat on it, and to cover the bed in a way that you can actually get in and at least sit up. And some of them are different heights. And so I looked at used, I spent some time calling and exploring, and found out more than I ever knew about exactly how you fit and what goes on and all that kind of stuff, by bed model and so on and so forth. And the older trucks, if you have an older truck, it's easier to find a second hand that will fit, because they change the configuration. Now with the model years, they change, and even in between in the model year and all that. So I came to the conclusion that it would be helpful to, and a friend had mentioned something, well, you'll, and this is someone who is a good friend but doesn't at all approach things from a more energetic and wholeness based approach. But anyways, said that the cap on the truck is going to be helpful you, kind of like a garage or something, when you have the trailer, and you will get the trailer, you know. So it was interesting because he was talking in a way that would, like he was feeling it, like he was tuning into the energies of it, which struck me. Again, that was a noticing, it struck me. Because not the usual way of communication. So that was point. And in that, he was talking about that, about the cap, and that would be helpful, and we, you know, get it. And if you or end up leaving here and the trailer is not here yet, that'll be helpful, and there'll be less worry. So anyways, went through all that, and I decided on Friday that it would be good. So I called people that this big property here business uses for caps, and they just happen to have. And the other thing is that my truck is, you know, it's new to me, but it's a kind of a newer model, old truck. It's a 2019, and but nowadays they only get what they have in inventory is for the newer models. So 22, 20 maybe is an older one, 2021 mostly. So it's all special order for the other. They can get it, it's just special order, and the special order is running about 10, 12 weeks. So that's not going to happen. Anyway, so I called and spoke to the gentleman, and he was very nice. And I told him, you know, where I worked when I was calm was great. And he said, well, you know, he mentioned one. He said, no, we just sold that. And so he was thinking. I said, okay, well, that's great. And I'm not attached to the color. Just, I mean, you know, I don't want neon green, but just want to see what you have. So we were chatting a bit about something like that, and he said, wait, I think we do have one. So he looked, and it just so happened that he had one for my year of truck and the length of the bed and all of that kind of stuff. And he said, let me go confirm. And it happened to be gray, which my truck is a gray color. And so he showed me a picture of that, whatever that color is, in something he had on the lot, much bigger rig. So he said, yes, we have it. So I felt into that on the phone. And because of the conversation I had with him, the fact that he, you know, he said, we basically don't carry that at all anymore. And he just happened to have one that fit exactly what I needed. And it just happened to be gray. I took those as, you know, positives, and it felt good because I'd already come to the conclusion that this would be help pressure valve release in worrying and you know, instead of driving off in just the truck with that whatever the flatbed thing is called, which isn't waterproof, and stuffing 2 Aussies and a cat and computers and you know, big photographic equipment and nothing else. A couple pairs of shoes and a shirt and pair of pants, and off I go. Because that was just getting to be too, I don't know how to deal with that. And I can deal with a lot, but I was getting. So anyway, so I did that. So I took that was a thing. And then one of the lovely little out of the blue things happened is yesterday late in the day. Something from one of the principals here just happened to come by and said, well, you know, I'd like to give you a little bit of this. And I've been told that this would be just the exact amount that you need for the truck cap. And the way that they said it kind of flew by me for a minute, and I thought, you know, I wasn't quite sure about that, mostly because no one here, no one anywhere, you're knowing now, knew that I had, except for the guy that I talked to on the phone, and he doesn't know anybody else, knew that I'd made the decision and booked the appointment on Tuesday morning to take you know, a big portion of the greenback savings that I have and put it on that. So it took me a moment. I said thank you, and you know, and then I moved on, and I'm kind of noodling that over, and the specific words that were used to describe it and the amount, and I just didn't want to look at it when I was standing right there, and so I walked away. But I thought, that's interesting. I mean, lovely, wonderful, yay, abundance and flow and me magnetizing, because it was directly related to me, and all the work that I put in here. But that it was delivered in just that way was even more of a gift, even more of a approving, even more of a flow, even more of me being a creator and magnetizing things to me. And in the noticing, in the connecting with that, in those signs, those messages, as if someone sends you something, they give you a check or whatever, and there's a post-it note on it, that there's more of the story there. There's more communication. There's more being conveyed. There's more that's reaching out to see if I'm noticing to what's being conveyed. And if I'm noticing what I myself, all of me, is conveying back to me. Am I paying attention? Am I being connected to what I'm creating? Am I completing the loop? Because everything is at the behest of me. I'm the genesis of that which unfolds in my life, in my reality. It doesn't matter whether you understand it or not, know it or not, believe it or not. It is how all of this works. And the mastery comes in noticing and connecting that and meeting something in that occurrence. You could say, well, they gave you a few bucks because you're leaving and that's customary and so on and so forth. Okay. But the noticing, because there's so much more to the story just in this piece. So I could probably suss out a linear, rational someone here who might have told them that, but they didn't know that I'd actually decided to I was still thinking about it and I hadn't said anything, right? So I made the decision on Friday. I called and I got some signs and some connection in that phone call and what I was told. So I noticed that. And I felt in during the call and I thought, yes, weighing the ego mind fear that was coming up out, if you have a little stack like this and now you're taking a big portion of that stacking and you put it on that. Okay, how's that feel working through that, right? Then I'm on the phone and I like the feeling of the guy. This is someone who I'd want to do business with, right? And the way that call unfolded, well, I don't know, and the whole thing about the length of time, everything I told you, right? And they just happen to have one, and it's great. So all that noticing and playing with that and connecting. And then the next, so that's set and it's coming on Tuesday, and I know that's rolling. And now I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm still excited for the delivery of my heart's desire coming to me, right? Delivered to me, because that's what this is all about, is to help others do this. And I'm doing it first myself in various different ways and how to do that. So I've made that decision because now I'm going to just work on a way to somehow pack that. And I can have a little, like a cot sized bed or something there, and on a piece of plywood and a memory foam, cut so it's 30 inches wide or something. And I think I would be able to have 60 inches long or something, but I'm short, so so that just might about do it. But then the next moment comes out of the blue, this nice gift, this nice appreciation for some work that I've done with these energetic and verbal post-it notes. I've been told that this is exactly, in a very subtle, offhanded way. And when I heard it, I thank you very much, and finished whatever the conversation was going on and left. And that's playing, as if I'm reading the text again or reading the post-it note again or replaying that again and thinking, well, that's interesting. So putting that together. So that's one of the ones that was a beautiful out of the blue flow. And another one was I'm working on something for a client in the business, and and there's lots of stuff that I have to work on. But today, kind of out of the blue, things in even though work was a crazy day, there was 2 hours that I could finish. I could stop, which is unusual around here, and have 2 hours where I supposedly was working, so I already had that scheduled. I can't do anything. I took those 2 hours and could put that into the work that I was doing for the client. And that, coupled on the other thing, again, is giving me far more of a picture, of a connection, of a flow, of something to notice, something to appreciate, not only it coming in, but to appreciate that it's coming in because I'm calling it in, because I'm a resonant match to it coming in, because it's expansive, because I put it out there in the beginning to start with, to call it in. So if I was looking at things in a linear way, all of the steps, right, all of the the what I'm doing and how I'm creating it and what I'm putting forward is in small ways, that I make them larger by the noticing of them and being present to them, and not in any way entertaining, well, that's great, but I still need, the stack like this. Or if one should even, I had one little thought remotely drive by, or something around the trailer and funds and all that kind of stuff, and I thought that's not something I'm even going to spend any energy on. I have so many things that I need to do and process and think about and plan and get rid of, and you name it. And I control what I focus on. It's a choosing. I'm choosing what I'm choosing to focus on, to fret on, to get excited about, to go into neutrality about, to make bigger and stronger and faster, in coming to me, coming to fruition, and exploring in a bigger, broader way. So there's an alchemical reaction, an alchemical process, an energetic process, a creational process that I'm just giving a pictorial for me, just a little bit of, but this is what happens in all of us. In the midst of, all that stuff going on out there, and you could rattle off all the stats, you can rattle off all the drops of information, you can rattle off all the economic, but we're still here. And what are you choosing to hold, to focus, to give your energy to give your considerable power and creational force to? And how are you flowing through it? And are you appreciating? There we go again, appreciating. So apparently this is a theme for me and all. Are you appreciating the noticing and the dots connecting and the out of the blue and the kind of like reports coming back to you? Well, you requested this, you've put this in, your heart's desire is this, you're looking to flow with that, you're doing a step here. Yep, okay, well, we've got this happening and this is coming in and this is coming in, if you want to look at it in a linear way. But for me, which feels so delicious and great, is that balancing. I am absolutely multidimensional, and I know it, and my multidimensionality is showing all over the place. Yours is too. And I'm in a physical body, on a physical plane, which is lessening in its duality, in its density, in its dualistic nature, right? And especially as I'm raising up my vibration, my countenance, my complete holding of my trinity within, my heart, my soul, and myself. My magic wand, my jet fuel for creation and rockets of desire, and my delivery bed, my truck, not this truck out here, but like my delivery truck, or my whole supply chain for bringing all of that which I call forth to me, whether it's purely linear and physical and tangible, or combination of that, or people, places, things, all of those kinds of things. So in having that appreciation for all of that, and in doing that, I'm having appreciation for the moment of connection. So I'm present with whatever's going on. And it's my paint box of paints just got brighter and more vivid and more translating into what it is that I'm bringing into creation. And it's connecting out to you and all the different beings that are out there not even have met yet. Because in all of our various ways that are unique to us, yet there's this beautiful synergy and symmetry and unity that we're all doing it in our unique and beautiful ways. And now is the moment that we're heightening that doing of it and that appreciation. We're on a roll, and we're on a stupendously expansive roll. And one of our confirmations to feedback and noticing is the out there that's it's doing that because we're sending out our heart's desires for the new, for bringing the new into being, into physicality, into fruition, because all of us is coming into us. So cool things, very cool things. I'm so glad you're here to play, and I'm looking forward to playing more, and I'm looking forward to playing in physical, picnic table or around a campfire or whatever it is, and also in virtual, connecting in all manner of different ways with you. So day 21 was a good day and an expansive day, and an appreciative day for me, for you, for all, for exactly with this moment that we're in. And we're just that good at creating and being and choosing. So focus on your intention and your authenticity of how you appreciate you and what you're bringing forth and creating in this moment, and that you're putting together for the bigger and bigger heart's desires. And we'll play in all of it. I love you.